Hi, my name is Josh Zander. I'm the teaching professional here at Stanford University Golf Course and host teaching professional for My Smart Golf. Today I want to talk about the correct position of the left wrist at the top of your backswing. The answer is there isn't one. Great golf has been played with many different positions of the left wrist at the top of the backswing. Players have played great golf with a cupped position of the left wrist, a flat position at the left wrist, and a bowed position at the left wrist at the top of the backswing. Players that come to mind who played with a cupped left wrist, somebody like Paul Azinger, Freddie Couples, both great players, major championship winners, cupped left wrist at the top of the backswing. Flat left wrist at the top, Jose Maria Olazabal. Tiger Woods plays with a pretty flat left wrist position at the top. And then last one, a bowed left wrist position at the top, Lee Trevino, Tom Lehman. Lee Trevino is one of the best players of all time, arguably one of the best ball strikers of all time. So there's no one correct position of the left wrist at the top of the backswing. As a teacher, I will not change the position of the left wrist unless it's going to help the ball flight or the impact. I want my students to be able to compress the ball correctly and to hit their desired ball flight. Now, if you're looking to have a square club face at the top of your backswing, the left wrist position becomes very crucial. And it has to do with how you grip the club. Let's say you have a weak, a neutral, or a strong grip, one of three variations. The person with the weak grip, somebody like Jose Maria Olazabal, is going to look flat at the top, and that club face is very square. Somebody like Tiger Woods, who's a little more neutral, where the V here is pointing more towards the right ear, will look just ever so slightly cupped, and that club face is square at the top. And then somebody like Freddie Couples, who's got a very strong grip, when they take it to the top, the club face is still square, but the wrist is very, very cupped at the top of the backswing. You can see it here in front by how I cock my wrists. If I've got that weak grip, when I cock my wrist, this stays fairly flat, or maybe even bowed out a little bit. If I go to a neutral grip and I cock my wrists, there's a slight cup there. And if I go really strong and I cock my wrist, there's a big cup in my left wrist. So your grip affects the position of the club face at the top of the backswing. We have an inside joke as golf instructors that most of our business comes from friends helping friends how to play golf. And a lot of times just a misunderstanding of the left wrist position leads us to getting some more golf lessons. And the reason is, if your friend tells you to just do something because Tiger does it or because Hogan does it, they're not necessarily understanding the relationship between that piece of advice and what's happening at impact. What we're doing on the lesson tee all day is fixing ball flight and fixing impact. My philosophy of teaching is to make sure that my students leave with the correct impact and their desired ball flight. So let's talk about how the position of the left wrist is going to affect impact. If I have a neutral grip, so maybe a slight cup in my left wrist, if I decide from there to then bow out my left wrist, or flatten it out if you will, because that's what Tiger does, I have just shut the club face and hit a low hook. Also, if you think of my hand as the ground and I have a shut face, that club has now dug deep into the ground. So not only have I hooked it, but I've stuck the club right in the ground as well, so my impact is very poor, and obviously the ball flight's not the desired ball flight. Another person might say, yeah, I looked at Hogan's video and he's got it really cupped at the top. Well, if you think about the history of Hogan's game, he was a big hooker of the golf ball, to the point where he couldn't even use a driver. He was starting to tee off with his 5-wood. Some people say that the secret, the Hogan secret, was to cup his left wrist. Well, what does cupping a left wrist do? It opens a club face. So for him, it was a perfect match to what he did in his golf swing. So next time somebody gives you advice, and I may be hurting my business by saying this, but next time somebody gives you advice, make sure that whatever they tell you is going to help your ball flight and help your impact position. If not, run the other way. You don't want to listen to advice that's going to hurt your game. Don't do it because it looks good. Do it because it makes your ball flight and your impact look good. So to review, if you're looking for a square club face at the top, your grip has a lot to do with it. The weaker your grip, the flatter or even bowed out your left wrist is going to look, and the stronger your grip, the more cupped your left wrist is going to look in order to have a square club face at the top. But I can't stress enough that anything you do with your left wrist position at the top of the backswing better help your ball flight. If you'd like to see any more of my instructional videos and to find the best website for charting and understanding your game, go to www.mysmartgolf.com.